Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. The Nurse Shark Academy show highlights nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field who promote entrepreneurship. You can use the yes and rule. When an idea or an invitation crosses your path, resist the immediate no because I'm busy and spend 90 seconds exploring it first. So, yes, and instead of immediately no, yes, I will consider it, and I will get back to you next week. Yes, I will be able to accommodate that and make a change in my schedule. So use the yes and be open to new opportunities, even if you don't quite feel prepared. So, for example, I had an opportunity present itself to me to help someone I had never worked with before. It was a massage therapist, and she wanted to start a massage therapy school. And so I didn't know all the rules for massage therapists because I'm not a massage therapist. But I said yes because I knew I could learn the ropes and help her to do the things that she needed to do, because again, basic business principles are the same. We just have to change things to those nuances. And I realized I already have experience as opening up education schools. So what I learned as a nurse could translate into what she was doing as a massage therapist. So there are ways that you can add to what you're doing and without shutting off your blessings, as I like to say, or your opportunities. And then diversify your inputs. Follow one non-nursing entrepreneur. Listen to one outside your niche podcast. Cross-pollination sparks unexpected connections. So really great example is I listen to a lot of entrepreneur podcasts of people doing a variety of different things. Nurses, are you burnt out, frustrated, looking for something new? Are you looking for more? Nurses, are you ready to feel the sun? You will dream big and expand your consciousness as an entrepreneur. Your nursing license is your key to freedom. Join the Nurse Shark Academy at the nursesharkacademy.biz today. Hello and welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. Today's leadership lesson: eyes open, staying present, and ready for what's next as a nurse entrepreneur. I'm really excited about this topic and can't wait to dive in with you today. So let's get started. So let's set the scene that every nurse entrepreneur knows. Charting at midnight, mind spinning, somehow missing the nudge that could change everything. Or an exhausted nurse entrepreneur buried in a packed schedule who almost ignores an email that changes her business. How many opportunities slip by because we're too busy surviving to notice them? So let's explore some mindfulness plus practical tools plus mind shifts and an opportunity ready brain. So you already have the clinical instincts. So today we're going to train those instincts on your business. So why nurse entrepreneurs are especially prone to opportunity blindness? Well, here's why. That way that we're trained as nurses, that hypervigilance, that task focus, that imposter syndrome, that's why new opportunities get missed. Our nursing brain trains us to execute, not to explore. A beautiful strength, but with a hidden cost. The I'll think about that later habit, how busyness becomes a reflex that blocks growth. And I have to admit, that's one of the things that I struggled with and continue to sometimes struggle with today, is that I'll do it tomorrow. I'll think about it tomorrow. And when you do that and you don't get it done, you're essentially lying to yourself, and you're setting yourself up for failure. Your mind is telling you don't follow through on the things that you do. So again, changing that mindset and recognizing those cues. And one of my content creators that I follow likes to say, we don't make excuses, we make moves. And that reminds me to get back into what we said we're going to do. So there's been some research on the cognitive load and narrowed attention, that tunnel vision that we get under stress. Because remember, we're used to being busy on the floor. We've got 100 things going on all at once. You got all these beepers and bells and things going off, and there's a lot of critical information that happens. So we really focus on what we have to do, and we sometimes miss the larger issue, the larger picture. And this is where we miss some opportunities. So this is a wiring issue, not a character flaw, and it's totally fixable. I remember one of the things I struggled with early on was that kind of blinder that you get when you're got your head down, you're working on your charting, you're doing your things, and you miss some subtleties. So, for instance, as you know, as a busy clinician, I'm often typing away as I'm listening to what my clients are saying. And if you don't pay attention, if you don't stay present in the moment, you may miss a cue and a nuance. The same thing happens in business, is that sometimes those opportunities present themselves and we miss it because we've overlooked an email, or we forgot to follow up with someone. We didn't make that phone call that we promised ourselves that we would do. So here are three presence practices for busy nurse entrepreneurs. So these are short, clinical life compatible mindfulness tools that you can start today. No meditation app required. The first is the 60-second body scan. This is a micro reset between shifts, calls, or client sessions to drop out of reactive mode. One of the things I like to do when I get into that mode is I take a breather. I may get up and take a walk and leave the unit, or walk I leave out of my office and just reset from where I was so I can get to the next thing, and it just kind of refreshes my mind. What is it that works for you? Think about this to kind of just open yourself up to a new situation, new possibilities. Second, you can use open monitoring meditation. This is broadening attention versus laser focus. It trains the brain to notice peripherally the things that's the opposite of that clinical tunnel vision that we have. So, for example, you can focus in on your breathing. You can focus in if you're outside listening to the birds, or hearing the car horns, or whatever that it is, to expand your horizon. And lastly, you can use the beginner's mind check in. Before a meeting or networking event, ask, what would I notice if I were encountering this for the first time? One of the things is to kind of, or I think, what would you do if you were like a child and you were curious and wondering? And so to go in and meet someone and ask them about their day, about what they do, being open to that, and maybe looking for new opportunities without thinking, if you can't do something. When we were children, we always thought, hey, I could be a firefighter, I could be an astronaut, I can be whatever. And so we were so open to new possibilities. Tap into that and bring that into your next event. Here are 5 systems to stay opportunity ready. Move from mindfulness into concrete habits and structures that lower the friction between noticing an opportunity and acting on it. So the first is to keep an opportunity log, a running note, a voice memo, a phone note, anything where you can capture ideas without commitment. Review weekly. So write down those things that come to your mind. It's one of the things I loved about having a piece of paper or a pad in my pocket or my purse. I can always whip it out and write something, or have it on my phone, write a brief note, and I can go back to it. Those aha moments, those ideas that pop in. I may not act on them right away, but I have it there. And if once you start reviewing them, the opportunities begin to flow. You begin to see new things. And so that's encouraging. The other technique is to schedule white space, intentionally. Block a 30-minute open thinking slot per week. Treat it as an appointment, as sacred as a patient appointment. And so, do you block out time for you to just be able to freely think? I know that's novel, right? Nurses, we're always busy. We're always going from one task to another. but take that moment to block out that sacred time for you to just be able to think. And sometimes I take a few days off to do that very thing. I don't plan big events during that time. I don't plan to go on, out to a lot of places. I just take that time to reset, refresh, and to think. And so I think tapping into that is so important. And if you can put that appointment, what I like to call my glorious purpose time, and put that on your calendar, it would make the opportunities available to you so much clearer. And clarity is the key. You can use the yes and rule. When an idea or an invitation crosses your path, resist the immediate no because I'm busy and spend 90 seconds exploring it first. So, yes, and instead of immediately no, yes, I will consider it, and I will get back to you next week. Yes, I will be able to accommodate that and make a change in my schedule. So use the yes and be open to new opportunities, even if you don't quite feel prepared. So, for example, I had an opportunity present itself to me to help someone I had never worked with before. It was a massage therapist, and she wanted to start a massage therapy school. And so I didn't know all the rules for massage therapists because I'm not a massage therapist. But I said yes because I knew I could learn the ropes and help her to do the things that she needed to do, because again, basic business principles are the same. We just have to change things to those nuances. And I realized I already have experiences opening up education schools. So what I learned as a nurse could translate into what she was doing as a massage therapist. So there are ways that you can add to what you're doing and without shutting off your blessings, as I like to say, or your opportunities. And then diversify your inputs. Follow one non nursing entrepreneur. Listen to one outside your niche podcast. Cross pollination sparks unexpected connections. So, really great example is I listen to a lot of entrepreneur podcasts, of people doing a variety of different things. And I love hearing about what they did to start this business, or how they're using their business acumen to grow. And so I learned so much about marketing, and I learned about money management, and I learned things about that I wouldn't have thought of, right? And so that's the beauty of meeting people that are outside your niche as well. So don't be afraid to strike up a conversation with someone who's not a nurse, but maybe in business, because you never know what you're going to learn and how those connections can really spark some inspiration for you. And then name your opportunity blockers. Identify the top two recurring excuses and write them on sticky notes as reminders, not reality. So, again, reframe those as we make moves, not excuses. And that sticks in my mind, because every time I want to make an excuse of, oh, I don't have time, I realize, you know what? If you invest that 5 minutes to get that task done, how much would you have gained? And how easy it would be to free your mind from having to worry about it, because you just took the 5 minutes to get it done. And I know I can find 5 minutes, and I'm redeeming that time. And so make sure that when you're doing that, get those top two things that really kind of throw you for a loop. And again, one of mine is I don't have time, or I'm unsure. And so I really focus on, if I make that commitment, I'm going to stick to it. And so as we get ready to shift, so we have to remember we have to rewrite that story, not from the right time to, but what could this become? So maybe it's not we're not looking for the perfect time to start our business, or the perfect time to grow our business, or the perfect, because there will never be a perfect time. But it's taking that time and carving it out in that moment to say, what could this become? So it's saying yes to maybe something you've never done before. When I started out as a legal nurse consultant, I had never sat on a medical review panel. I'd never reviewed medical records for a legal case like this. But I said yes. There's a first time for everything. And so sometimes we need to challenge that scarcity and perfectionism narrative that keeps us so bogged down. It's so common in nursing culture, and we need to reframe them as growth signals. So instead of saying I can't or I'm not ready, look at it as an opportunity for growth. What can I do to get ready? How can I learn? So when I got the opportunity to sit on that medical review panel, one of the first things I did was recognizing, hey, I don't have the knowledge of knowing what exactly I'm supposed to do. So I better go get that knowledge. I immediately signed up for a course so that I understand what a legal nurse consultant does. And it was the best decision I made in my life at that time, because that opened me up to so many different things. And as I continue to grow in my business, I've added other things, other trainings to enhance what I learned in that initial training. So don't be afraid to try new things. Reframe this as growth signals of something I don't know, but one day I'll get to do. So that scarcity, take that to an abundance lens. Opportunities don't run out when you say yes to one, they compound. So if you say yes to one, doesn't necessarily mean you have to say no to another. As long as you're in alignment with what you're doing, everything will work out. And opportunities are around us every day. They're very abundant. You may be the next nurse that decides to develop a process that changes the entire industry. And so nurses are very forward thinking. And so tapping into that is so critical. Imperfect action over perfect preparation. Again, nurse entrepreneurs wait to feel ready. Successful ones learn by doing. So reframe that discomfort. When something feels uncomfortable, it's often growth knocking, not a warning to retreat. So again, having that growth mindset. I didn't know how to start a podcast when I started my podcast, right? I didn't have an idea about what to do when I started the podcast. I learned by knocking on some doors and talking to other podcasters and guesting on their shows. And I learned so much about the podcasting industry that when I launched my own podcast, I felt a little bit more comfortable doing that. So you may have to start low, start slow, as we like to say, when we're giving medications. But then you also do the same thing with your business. Maybe you need to take a seminar or read a book or get with a mentor or a coach. Those are growth strategies for you. Identify those shift prompts. I am someone who is curious about what's possible. Say it out loud and write it down. I'm going to say that again. I am someone who is curious about what's possible. So that same instinct that makes you a great nurse, paying close attention, is exactly what makes you a great entrepreneur. The skills are already in you. We're just pointing it into a different direction. So let's recap what we've talked about today. And I will extend an invitation to step into a community built for exactly this. So here are the three pillars: presence practices, practical systems, and mindset shifts. So this week's challenge for you is to start your opportunity log today. Capture just one idea or possibility before you go to sleep tonight. I often keep a notepad by my bed just in case an idea sparks in the middle of the night. I want to be able to get up, write it down, because that way I don't worry about forgetting it for the next morning. And so, you may have an idea to write your book and a topic comes to you, or a topic or an activity at work. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have an opportunity to start a new program at work. I'm leaning into this at what I like to call my 9 to 5. I had some things come up. And as I began to explore, I thought this is an area that we can grow in and would ultimately serve our patients and our facility, our organization better. And so maybe you're an intrapreneur and you're still working on your 9 to 5 and you need now to implement some new ideas. So go ahead and capture that one idea. Start your journal today. So I also want to ask you, what opportunities are you saying yes to this week? DM me, let me know, send us a message at the nurse shark academy.biz. Let us know, write it down in the comments. So before we wrap, I need you to hear this. You just spent about 20 minutes or so investing in yourself. That matters. And if this episode lit something up in you, I don't want that feeling to stop when you hit that pause button. The Nurse Rock Academy is where nurse entrepreneurs who are serious about their growth go to level up. Not someday, now. This is a community of sharks, nurse entrepreneurs who are swimming forward, building businesses, and choosing not to play small anymore. Inside, you will get access to mentorship, proven frameworks, and a room full of people who understand your world in a way that most business coaches never could. They've worn the scrubs, they've had the hard conversations, and now they're building something extraordinary. And so can you. We say it's where you come to feel the sun because after years of putting everyone else first, it's finally your time to shine. So go right now to the NurseSharkAcademy.biz. That's the NurseSharkAcademy.biz and see what's waiting for you on the other side. You didn't become a nurse by playing it safe. Don't build your business that way either. I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for tuning in to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. And I want you to hit that like and subscribe button. And please leave us a comment. We would greatly appreciate it. Share this episode with others who would experience this great content. And looking forward to having more great leadership lessons and leadership conversations, as well as having our interviews with our wonderful nurse entrepreneurs. If you're a nurse and you're a business owner and you want to come on the show, always reach out to us at the NurseSharkAcademy.biz. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Break free and come feel the sun with the Nurse Shark Academy. Nurses, are you ready to break free from the grind and build something of your own? It's time to take your skills beyond the bedside and step into entrepreneurship. Join our webinar, Break Free, the Nurse's Path to Entrepreneurship, where you'll learn how to shift your mindset, explore your nurse-owned business ideas, and get the exact steps to launch your own business. This is your time to take control of your career and create a future you love. Seats are limited, so grab yours now. Break free and join the Nurse Shark Academy at the NurseSharkAcademy.biz. Thank you for listening to the Nurse Shark Academy show wherever you get your podcasts or watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll know when all of our episodes come out. If you want further information, you can contact us on the NurseSharkAcademy.biz.